Right, so what's happened?
He's down the water and got stung by a bluebottle and he's frothing at the mouth and shaking his lips and everything.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do. It's not 100%.
So how long ago was he stung?
20 minutes. Yeah.
So you got here as soon as you could?
Yeah. It's still wet as you can see.
Yeah.
He's down at Malabar trying to stick him off the rocks. Came back like this, like I thought he had a twitch or something. Picked up a stick with a bluebottle on it and then he was shaking his head. So definitely stung by a bluebottle.
Along the line of the bluebottle tentacle are a whole lot of stinging cells. Now these, once they detect skin or the inside of Kaiser's mouth, in this situation, they fire a little arrow and that arrow contains a toxin. Not only is that extremely painful, the worrying thing for me right now is that this is going to start to shut off that airway. And in a boxer like Kaiser, there's not much room to start with. How's his breathing in the car up here?
Oh, he was in the back so we couldn't really tell, but he was looking down like he looks up all the time, but he was just going, like looking down like he wasn't himself, we know that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of swelling around the back of his throat there. The way we tell is just by checking one side against the other. And his lips on this side here are a similar thickness to that side.
Yep. Just what about his tongue?
Yeah, just his lower lips though just do feel a little bit what we call edematous, so they're just the tissue's a bit thickened, and you can just see that just in here.
Oh, okay. There.
Yeah.
Because it's nearly touching his tooth.
Yeah. And just the side of his tongue is it's just a bit swollen. It's not that smooth shape it's not that smooth texture you'd normally expect. That lymph gland is just the slightest bit enlarged actually at the moment. The problem we've got with boxers is that it's already a narrow space that he's breathing through. He's got a whole lot of face squeezed into a very small bit of area of his skull. So what I might do straight away is give him an injection of a corticosteroid to try and basically reverse the effects of any allergic reaction he could be having to the sting. Okay. Do you mind if I take him out the back to give him this?
No.
I just need to get someone to actually hold that vein up for me.
Yeah, no, that's alright. He's alright.
Thanks, mate. I won't be a second. The worrying period for me is the next 10 or 20 minutes. That is the time when it could shut down the airway altogether. There's no reason why a bluebottle sting to a dog in that mouth or throat area couldn't be fatal.
Come on.
Oh man, is he alright or what? Touch wood, eh?
Good boy.
Just taking Kaiser out of there, I'm just a bit worried that the whole situation is just getting a little bit stressful. The thing about bluebottles is that it's once they hit the lymph glands, they can have pretty dramatic effects on the circulation. They can cause a pretty big drop in blood pressure. His breathing's just a little bit gurgly at the moment, and he's quite agitated. I imagine that agitation is a result of the pain, but also anyone that's been stung by a bluebottle knows that once it starts to track up to the glands, it's quite painful and quite an abnormal feeling.
He's my life, like he's my boy, you know? I hope he's alright, yep.
Now, the bluebottle sting is certainly going to be causing a lot of the anxiety we're seeing in Kaiser, but I can't help but think that some of it's also coming from Kurt. Kurt's wound up, he's stressed, he's very afraid about what's going on, and as a result, Kaiser follows suit. The more stressed he becomes, the more oxygen he actually needs. And right now, every bit of oxygen he actually gets into his body is golden. Just going to go in slowly here. Sometimes when you give this, you can actually see a response in their body when it starts to open up their airways. They sort of they have a sudden jolting response as they feel it start to have the effect, and that it's probably a little bit worrying for the dog, but it's comforting for us to see. This is more common than people actually think. For some reason, people just assume that bluebottle stings are something that humans suffer from, but dogs, they're more inquisitive than we are. And if they see something interesting on the beach, they'll race up to it and put their nose straight into it. and their nose is one of the most sensitive parts of the body, so they get stung as a result. If they eat it, like Kaiser here has tried to do, then that's when they can actually get into pretty serious problems. That's relaxed in there a little bit too. You can see the effect that's had. You see he's just breathing a little bit more comfortably.
Yeah, just waiting here, I just felt physically sick, like still a bit shaky, you know. Like I said, I'd sell everything for my dogs, you know, any one of them, like, they mean everything to me.
How's it going, Laura? Buddy. Oh, you're relaxed, aren't you? Look at that. It's not really what you expect to go to the beach and all of a sudden your dog is in the middle of a medical emergency that could claim its life within half an hour. But I guess Kurt's reacted to it. He's done the right thing. He's brought Kaiser in here as quickly as possible, and thankfully it looks like things are going to be okay. He's just a different dog. His breathing's very relaxed, very calm, and just panting ever so slightly now. So he's getting plenty of air into his lungs, and that's the most important thing. If you feel his lymph glands, that the right one, which is on the side of the sting, is certainly bigger than the left. So what that tells me is that the toxin has actually hit the lymph glands, and that was a worrying time for me. But he seemed to have got through that okay because he's pretty stable. All his vital signs are good. So with him looking like this, I'm pretty comfortable he can go back to Kurt and back home.
Oh, I know that I want him forever on my body, like, I mean, you know what I mean? It means, yeah, it means the world to me, yeah. Yep.
Where is he, Kaiser?
Oh my god. It's going. Hey, Chris.
There you go.
Is he alright or what?
No, he's fine.
Yeah?
He's going to be okay. Yeah.
Sweet, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit shaken by the whole thing.
The big boxer.
Good on you, buddy.
I'm seriously, like, you don't understand, like, yeah, like freaking out.
Yeah, it's fine. I could tell that, don't worry.
Thanks again, mate. Look at this lifesaver.
I'm really struggling to think of a time where I've felt more appreciated in my life, but at least he's saying thank you, and that really means a lot.
Oh, it's yeah.
What we do for our dogs, eh? Yeah, it's pretty bad, eh? It's just like almost to the point of like saying stop, Trevor. But nah, it's just I know the outcome's going to be unreal.
There's so much detail in these boxes and mastiffs and all that sort of stuff. There's so much detail in there. The little paws around their nose and take quite a long time to do.
I've got 3 other dogs, so they're going to all be tattooed on me. Pretty much at the beginning, but they all mean the world to me, and that's just something small I can do for them to have me by my side for the rest of my life. So, yeah. Sushi. Have a look at it. Oh my god, that is insane. I'm very happy with that. I'm very stoked with that. Kaiser, look. It's Kaiser. That's you. That's you.
Hello. This must be Sandy, is it?
Yeah.
We've just found him after a couple of weeks of being missing, and looks like he's been hit by a car, and he was trapped under the neighbour's house. We've all been really, really worried.
Goodness. Look at you. So he's been missing for
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
He's been missing once before, yeah, and he got into our cleaner's ute and went for a week's holiday in the back of the ute, so that was fun. Yeah, he's used up most of his 9 lives, I think.
Come on, sweetheart, I'll get you. Charlie knows his leg's broken. Hello, you're all right, you're okay. That's quite nasty. Ooh, it's quite a nasty fracture. Their bones are really quite displaced, and I guess the really hard thing about it is the fact that it's 2 weeks down the track and they're they're going to try and stay there now. Yeah. It's really badly overridden. So these bone ends should be next to each other, obviously, and they're just well separated. There's going to be a lot of fibrous tissue around that and scar tissue, and it's going to make it very difficult to loosen things up and get the bones back in the right position. So thankfully, it's a cat and not a 30 kilogram Staffordshire Bull Terrier or something, because that would be really difficult. Whereas this, we'll be able to do it, but it'll still be a bit of a struggle. What we'll actually do with it, there's a couple of things we can do. One's just put a plate on, plate and screws. That's sort of what I'm tempted to want to do, because once it's done, it's sort of set and forget. You don't have to be involved too much. But sometimes we actually have to put what's called an external fixateur on. It's like a scaffolding.
Right, okay.
That we sort of, pins go through the skin, in the bone, out the skin, and then sort of connected by bars on the outside. And sometimes it's a decision I'll make at surgery, but I think it'll be one of those two things. So I don't know, again, we'll just be ready to do both, and we'll make that decision once we get in there.
I was glad he was back, but I was also sad that he broke his leg.
All right, well, let's get him in.
I'd rather prefer him breaking his leg than being dead.
The struggle with this case is going to be getting the fracture reduced, so back into the right position, because it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. I think once we've done that, it should be relatively simple, though I'm a little concerned the middle part, one of the fragments, there looks like there's some fracture lines sort of running through it, and it's possible that they might start to shatter. And that's, I'm thinking now I would probably be pushing more towards the external fixateur, scaffolding sort of thing. Let's make an incision and see what we do. So I'm just incising over the fracture site now, and there'll be quite a lot of fibrous tissue around it where the body's been valiantly trying to get this to heal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a pin up the top of the bone, so a pin up through here and then a pin through there, and I actually use that as a lever or sort of some handles to try and pull it apart. As I said before, this fracture's been sitting here for 2 weeks, and so the muscles have all contracted, and so I've got to fight against that now. It's sort of almost fibrosed in that, or contracted into that position. That's where they want to stay, so I've got to counteract that. It's a critical part of the operation. I mean, if it's not perfect, you've got to make sure that it's in the centre of the bone. If it's slightly off centre, there's a possibility it'll crack out the other side when the cat starts to bear weight through it. So, I mean, it's got to be relatively accurate. And now I've got the pins and the scaffolding, if you like, and now it's just a matter of just some fine adjustments so that to get it the alignment as perfect as I can get it. So that's just going to be a little bit of a fiddle, but I'm pleased with how it's going so far. Righto, can we have that pin cutter, please? I always say to the owners that, I've got the easy job. I just get to do the surgery and fix it, and they've got to try and protect my work whilst it's healing, and that's much more difficult. Well, I'm happy with his new look. Hopefully he will be as well, but we'll see what it looks like on x-rays. That's probably the most important thing. That looks pretty good. That little bit of filler at the end made the difference. All right, we can wake him up. Framework will have to stay on for at least 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how things are going. Whilst he's got that on, he won't be able to do very much at all. He won't be able to jump onto the sofa, certainly won't be able to climb trees, climb up curtains, and he'll be housebound, and I'm sure he'll hate that. But it's a case of cruel to be kind.
No reversing.
Ow!
Oh, I'm not so happy.
happy now, baby.
Yeah. I see. Oh, the leg's looking really good. It's a little swollen, but you'd expect that after the manipulation that we had to do to get the fracture into place. The alignment's good, all the pins are fine. There's a very little bit of discharge from each of the pins, but again, that's totally to be expected. So, no, I'm really pleased with it. And you know, he'll start using this leg better over the next few days. Is that right?
Baby. Oh, no.
What are you doing?
You want to see Sandy?
It's been one of the hardest 2.5 weeks. I didn't cope very well, and neither did Zach or the boys. I think it's, you know, you just have this cloud hanging over your whole life because, you know, someone's missing a member of the family.
You want to see Sandy? Have you got pictures for it?
Got pictures.
For Sandy?
Who's for?
For Sandy. That's for Sandy.
I had a number of nights where I found it very difficult to sleep. And when you've got, you know, a 3-year-old boy crying because he wants to give Sandy a cuddle before he goes to bed and he's not there, that's hard.
How you going?
We got Sandy.
Yeah, we got Sandy here. You going to come and visit? Yeah.
Should we go see Sandy, darling? You want to visit, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. Hello, darling. Yes. You're back safe now. Oh.
He loves it, Mommy.
He loves it, does he, darling?
Sandy.
You want to pop him on the floor and see how he's walking? Yeah, you're allowed to use it. Where are you going? You can't go out. Come on. So he's dragging a little bit at the moment, but with time, you'll start putting it down on the ground again. Where's he gone?
He's gone under the table now.
He hasn't lost that adventurous
No.
some spirit, has he?
No, you won't be able to fix that.
No.
So he's going to be like this for 8 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
And how much weight is he allowed to put on it?
Oh, look, I'd encourage him to put as much weight as he likes. Normal walking is actually good for the fracture. It'll stimulate it to heal.
Yeah.
But putting too much pressure on it, like if he suddenly charges off after something, puts a lot of pressure through the pins, and they can potentially, I mean, it'd take a lot to do it, but they could break through the bone.
So he's a lucky boy, really, isn't he?
He's very lucky.
I'm just happy to have him home. He's certainly had a few lives. He's obviously meant for this earth. It's going to be a challenging week, but he's home and that's all that counts. Oh, see, he's okay, isn't he?
Yes, built the run, went out, bought some wood and some wire, and today's the first day that we're going to introduce it to Sandy.
Hey Sandy, what have we got for you? Come on you, pick him.
It's been a while since he's been out, so it'll all be a little bit new for him.
Hey Sandy, look what we've got. Your cat run.
Oh, he's loving the fresh air, look at that, look at the nose going. There's a lot of sun there, so they can have their afternoon naps in the sun down here, and plenty of room to do some aerobatics if he wants, so yeah, no, it's good. Got lots of trees and plants. And look at all this, see? So you can't get out? It's a safe haven for him now. It's just going to be good to be able to come home at night knowing that they're there.
So there you go, darling. Your new playground. I think he thinks he's in the jungle.
You've got to look after them and take responsibility and give them love and affection because ultimately they need you. He's happy, and that's the important thing, and he's on the mend.
You're not trying to get an escape plan happening, are you there?
That's everything cat does.
Now he's gonna hop. Like he has like a sort of skin diseasey thing. His skin's all flaky and his fur's starting to fall out. He seems not to be fussed by it, but occasionally if you touch him he kind of like flinches and goes a little bit not happy. It's part of the family. He's like a dog. He sits in the house and everything. He won't sit outside, he'll sit in the house. Or if he sits outside, he'll sit right outside our door and just waits for us to come and play with him. So he's a little bit like a puppy.
So I've just been told apparently there's a rabbit out the front for me to look at. Now this gets a little bit embarrassing because doesn't happen every time, but I'm actually allergic to rabbits, some of them. And when it happens, tears, sneezing, coughing, the works. They either think I'm a bit emotional about the whole situation or just think I'm the wrong guy for the job, we'll see. Hello.
Hello.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Alison.
Yeah, hi.
How are you? And Amy.
Hi.
How you going? And who's this?
This is Blackie.
Of course it's Blackie, because Blackie's white. All right, come on through. Who's got the sense of humour in the family?
That would be me and my brother, who
Good.
decided to give him an unusual name.
Okay. And how old's Blackie?
Blackie just had his 3rd birthday, so.
Big celebration for Blackie, was it? Or
No, not really. I think we went out and left him at home, to be honest.
couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, I know, he had a good day.
Another wild night in Blackie's life trying to work out why it's called Blackie. And what's wrong with Blackie?
His fur's fallen out in a clump, and like, I was patting him, and that chunky stuff comes up when you brush him.
Okay. How long has he had it for?
3 weeks or something.
Yeah. You can see what's left too. It's that really dry, scaly skin. I mean, it's almost as though he's wearing a coat of talcum powder almost. I think you're lucky Blackie isn't black. Otherwise Blackie'd have pretty obvious dandruff, I'd say. Sorry, Blackie. What does Blackie eat?
Blackie has a half a carrot and a quarter of an apple every night when he goes to bed. He has pellets, he's got the grass constantly. Occasionally we give him like lettuce and celery tops, but he doesn't really react well to mini greens, so.
What happens when
He gets diarrhea.
You just you're all warts and all today, aren't you? Huh? Yeah. We need to all hang out, Blackie. We know everything about you. Dandruff, diarrhea, you name it.
He's got it all. See, it's pull and then his skin gets shown.
Yeah. There are a few things that could be causing this. Certainly something like a parasite could be burrowing in and irritating the skin. It could be an allergy. It could also be something like a fungus. Rabbits losing hair isn't that uncommon, but it's working out what actually is the cause that's the real trick here. There's no way of knowing unless you run some tests.
I can't
Very
hear
fast, really fast.
I can't hear it. Is it supposed to be loud?
It's more serious than we ever thought.
I can't hear it.
How long has she been deaf for?
I'm beginning to wonder.
Oh my god, I really can't hear that. That's worrying me. That's not
That's
good.
fair. There's some pretty simple tests we can run. Right. In fact, so simple you'll probably never look at me the same way because you'll wonder why I went to uni for 5 years. But the first test is so simple, it involves a piece of sticky tape.
That hurts when you put sticky tape on and you pull it off. I feel sorry for him. I can't watch. Oh, yuck.
Okay, so there we go. On the slide, and then we just go straight to the microscope. Oh,
Bug.
Bug. Oh my goodness, you poor thing.
it appears, oh, that one's moving. There. He just waved hello.
From
That's
the straw?
disgusting.
You know what's really amazing too? Can you see all those little ovals?
Oh yeah.
They're eggs.
Wow.
So it's going to get worse.
And that's only in the one section too.
Yeah.
Oh, bunny boy.
I would say most likely though that Blackie's always had these mites. The next thing I want to do is actually just check that he doesn't have any fungal infection there.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So we need to actually hit the lights for this because this is an ultraviolet light.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so turn that off. If there's fungus there that's been growing on his skin, that may have even been given an environment to grow on by the fact that these mites are in there, then weirdly, these fungus actually glow under ultraviolet light.
Okay.
So if they were having a little party on him, they're about to get a disco light.
Aww.
Okay.
Party at Blackie's place.
There's a party at Blackie's.
Party at Blackie's house.
So when we put our party light over Blackie,
Yeah.
what we're looking for is a really bright green area, if there is actually a fungus there, and we've got none of that. So I think we can probably rule out fungus as being a cause there.
Thank goodness. Okay.
What's the one place on Blackie's body that Blackie can't chew?
Right in the middle of his back, and that's where they've put it.
Yeah. You can see by that sample there how many eggs there were there.
Yeah.
So very quickly this could go from being a small problem to being a very big problem. So what we're going to do is actually give Blackie a dog and cat treatment. But over the next probably 24 hours that'll spread throughout the skin.
All right.
Right.
And go all over the body and target these little mites that are here as well. Okay.
And that should be the end of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. Too old for rabbit stew. Allergy, is it? Are you allergic to rabbits?
Potentially.
Oh, oops, sorry.
It's only some rabbits.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
I like to convince people that I really feel their pain, and this is all just an outlet for me. And when I see a rabbit suffering, it just all becomes a bit too much emotionally for me, and
Oh, no, I'm so
and there are
sorry.
often tears and strangely sneezes and
I
the works.
apologise.
No, it's not your fault.
Blackie, it's all your fault. How could you?
And the thing is that when they have this sort of thing, all those skin secretions, all that powder off their skin goes straight up your nose and straight into your eyes. Indeed.
Sorry.
So, there
It's
you
all right.
go.
It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be all right. All right.
you.
No worries at all.
Thank you very
Good to
much.
see you.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks.
Amy.
Sorry, I have rabbit for everyone.
That's all right. So do I.
Thank you.
So it's a success. The rabbit's going to be treated. We've identified the cause, but I think I'm now the patient. But hey, the rabbit's okay.
If you guys loved that video, great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way.